An update today on a case that's gripped the city of Barrie for almost a month. We are learning more about two grisly murders at a homeless encampment.
Well, Toronto police resumed their search today for a missing jet ski rider who fell into the water near Bluffers Park. This happened in Scarborough Sunday night. We're going to have the latest on the recovery operation.
Plus, it's a love story, and Taylor just said yes. The pop icon gets engaged to NFL superstar Travis Kelce. We have reaction tonight.
This is Live at 5. Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Lena Latifat. Thanks so much for joining us and welcome to Live at 5. An update from police today on an investigation into a grisly double murder case in Barrie.
A 52-year-old Robert Lodisseur is accused of killing two people and dismembering their bodies. So he's facing a long list of charges, including first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and indignity to a body. Well, he was charged following a lengthy investigation at a homeless encampment. This is near downtown Barrie. And police said today that the killings were not random, but they didn't reveal a possible motive. They also said that they don't believe that there are more victims.
Now, police believe 41-year-old David Cheesequay was killed on July 28th and dismembered between that day and August 2nd. He was originally from British Columbia and was well known in skateboarding circles. 45-year-old William Robinson, who went by Blake, was reported missing earlier this year and was last seen on January 18th. The victims and the accused all lived at the encampment at the same time.
What began as a missing person investigation in January of this year was grown into one of the largest investigations Barrie Police have ever had. Numerous criminal code search warrants have been prepared and executed during this investigation, which have supported 33 criminal charges that the accused now faces. With any criminal investigation, the bravery and courage of witnesses to come forward adds valuable insight to the case being built.
Barrie is a safe community. Incidents like this are shocking and understandably shake our community, but they are exceedingly rare. Investigators are working closely with many other areas of our service to ensure that these tragic events are thoroughly and meticulously investigated, and that the individual responsible for these acts is held responsible.
And for a closer look at this investigation, we're joined live by CP24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan. Steve, good to get your perspective on this. Investigators believe the alleged killer knew his victims.
Yeah, so the police believe that the alleged killer knew the two deceased. The information is that all three knew each other through an encampment that they all lived at in Barrie. Now, whether the accused knew these two deceased or not, it really does not affect the investigation. It still will continue the same way, where the police will collect their evidence and put the pieces of this case together as they present this case to a Crown attorney.
Okay, so police stopped short of, I guess, releasing a motive. Let's talk about that, as well as the possibility that there could be other victims.
So when it comes to motive explains why a murder was committed, but that there is no requirement in Canadian law for the Crown to prove that element to get a conviction for murder. That just explains why. So you don't need motive to make an arrest, nor do you need motive to get a conviction on the Crown's part. The reason why the police did not release the motive that they say they are aware of, most likely is because they're protecting the integrity of their investigation. As far as other victims, police believe that there are none, but given the fact that this man killed two people in 2025 within 6 months of one another, and went that extra step in dismembering their bodies, allegedly, it would most likely cause the police to investigate all other missing person occurrences in the Barrie area, the GTA, and even the province to see if there are other people living in encampments or who are homeless who haven't been heard from their families.
Steve, this is a story and a case that's gripped the city of Barrie for almost a month now. And for weeks, people in that community were looking for answers. How important do you think it is for investigators to finally come to the public saying, here's what we know? Yeah,
great question. And I think that was one of the reasons behind this press conference today. It was to reassure the community that the police are out front and center. They are conducting this investigation. And in fact, they have somebody in custody now who they believe is responsible for two homicides.
Okay, so what's next, Steve?
Well, the police will continue putting this case together so they can present it to the court so the Crown can have their best case possible to argue to a court. But again, I do think that they will investigate all their missing persons occurrences, especially when it comes to those that are homeless, not only in Barrie, but in the province, let's say, and especially if they were known to this man, if any other people who are homeless and are missing were associated to this accused. It's got to be looked at just to make sure that nothing else has happened.
That police work will continue. Steve Ryan reporting live in studio. Steve, thanks so much for this.
Thanks, Steve.
Well, police say the search for a missing jet skier near Bluffers Park has turned into a recovery effort.
Okay, for more on this, let's go live to CP24's Arda Zakarian, who is by the water. Arda.
Yeah, it actually just started to pour rain again. It's been raining on and off this afternoon, so bear with me as I get through this. So this could also hamper search efforts, the rain making the water, more murky than what they would like it to be. But what Toronto Police Marine Unit is doing, they're taking something called side scans, which are clear, high-definition photos of the lake bed, which helps them identify exactly areas of significance, areas that they want to look at more deeply, look at more intricately. So they've sent divers down there. There's 3 divers that are looking in certain areas in quadrants. They're moving from one area to another as they conduct their search, seeing if they find anything. Now, this is a recovery operation, as you said. Toronto Police Marine Unit, as well as the Coast Guard, they're all involved in this. Yesterday, there was even a search and rescue helicopter scanning and looking and pointing out different areas where they wanted the police to go. And most of the area that they're concentrating in is just on the east side of Bluffers Beach Park. This is where it all occurred at 9:15 on Sunday night. There were 2 riders on a jet ski, and a man and a woman. The man was in his 20s. And Toronto police tell us that the man gave the woman his life jacket. And when they were riding, there was a big wave, according to Toronto police, knocked them off their jet ski. The woman who had her life jacket on was calling for help. Another person on a nearby jet ski helped the woman back onto her jet ski. However, the man never resurfaced, and the search continued then. Now, Toronto police are concerned as well, and they're looking and investigating the agreement that these individuals signed prior to getting on the jet ski from the jet ski rental company. Of course, they'll be looking more deeply into that. I'm going to wrap up this story because the rain is becoming more intense as I'm talking. So we'll keep you updated as if there's any kind of recovery from the Toronto Police Marine Unit. Back to you.
Out there, Arda, thanks so much for your reporting. And that rain certainly going to impact the drive home tonight. For a closer look at that, let's check in with Adjoa and Siayabwa. Adjoa.
Yeah, Lena, watching rain and problems. If you're trying to make your way home this hour, just came on all of a sudden because about 5 minutes ago, there was no rain on the 401, at least through Bayview. Just on the approach to Bayview, this is where we have this ongoing overheated vehicle, no longer overheated. Rain pretty much washed that away. Right lane and shoulder blocked in the express. So if you're making your way on the westbound side, rain impacting the cameras as well. Delays are there from before Warden. Now, if you're on the northbound lanes of the 404, no rain and problems have actually cleared. It is issues on the northbound 404, just north of the 407. Was the left lane blocked following a stall? It looks like that situation cleared. And checking in on the Gardner, looks like the rain has subsided out of the downtown core, but still very busy from Jarvis in sections all the way out to past Park Lawn. On city streets, we still have this collision blocking lanes on Bloor and Riverside. I'll send it back to you both.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Okay, it's 5:08, 17 degrees. This is Live at 5.
And a live look at Hamilton tonight. Coming up, we have details of a new federal program for businesses impacted by U.S. tariffs. This could impact the steel industry as well. Stay with us. Welcome back. Evan Solomon, AI and Digital Innovation Minister, who also heads the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario. He was in Hamilton today to announce a new program for businesses impacted by American tariffs.
With today's launch, we're demonstrating our commitment to reinforcing Canada's industrial strength, defending good jobs across the country, and right here at the heart of it in Southern Ontario. Canada's future is going to be forged by the businesses like Cooper Welding that we rely on, businesses that have built boldly, innovated relentlessly, and led the way forward and continue to do so. We are focused on building Canada strong. And in this crisis, we have no problem and full confidence that these businesses are going to be here for generations to come.
And the Regional Tariff Response Initiative, it's a 3-year, $450 million program that's going to be delivered through federal regional development agencies. Now, the goal of the program is to help impacted sectors overcome trade challenges and improve productivity as well as resilience. Eligible businesses can now apply.
Well, Alzheimer Society Peel says it is expanding as demand for services continues to grow.
Well, the organization says that the Meadowvale Day program, it's outgrown its current space and is going to be moving to their facility at Brunel Road. This is near Kennedy and the 401 in Mississauga. That building is going to undergo a major renovation to make space. We had a chance to talk to Dr. Jason Kerr with Trillium Health Partners about the rising demand.
We're doing a better job of diagnosing it. So the absolute numbers, though, are going up. You can imagine if there's a patient with dementia who's 90, their care partners are probably 60, they're approaching retirement age. They have a little more time to look after that patient. However, if you're diagnosed with dementia at 62, your spouse is the same age, maybe they're still working, maybe you're still working, your kids are in their 30s, there's not a lot of time to provide that care. So we really need these additional supports that the Alzheimer Society provides to help care for those patients.
And the goal is to have the renovations complete by late this year. A special event will be held at the Brunel Centre tomorrow at 11 a.m., and this is to help raise awareness and funds for that expansion.
Well, Canada's first known human case of a potentially deadly tick-borne illness, it's been reported in Quebec.
The case of Rocky Mountain spotted fever was recently recorded in Quebec's eastern townships. It follows reports from Ontario about infected animals that visited Long Point on Lake Erie. Initial symptoms typically appear between 3 and 12 days after a tick bite and can include fever, headache, nausea, and vomiting. That's followed by a characteristic spotted rash. Infectious diseases specialist Dr. Isaac Bogosh says cases are rare, but climate change is having an impact on the spread.
It occurs all over North America. There's only been sporadic cases in Canada in the past on the West Coast. And, you know, the name implies Rocky Mountains, but actually most of the cases exist far from the Rocky Mountains. And most of the cases are in the southeastern United States, sort of like that Kentucky, Tennessee area.
Okay, if left untreated, the U.S.-based Cleveland Clinic says that fatality rates, it can be as high as 30%, as low as 20%.
It's now 5:14, 17 degrees out there. You're watching Live at 5 on Toronto's Breaking News, CP24.
A celebrity engagement, singer Taylor Swift and NFL star Travis Kelce, they're getting married. We're going to have more on this next.
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And Travis Kelce.
Yes.
They're getting married.
Oh my God!
What do you think?
Yes.
Oh, they're engaged. They're engaged.
Wait, actually? Oh my gosh. Oh my God, that's actually crazy.
What are you gonna do with yourself? You gonna manage?
Yeah, I'm gonna party tonight.
I'm all about the love. Hopefully they stay together. They make a lot of money. Taylor makes a lot more money, but Travis is good at what he does. He's going to be probably in the Hall of Fame in the future, tight end for Kansas City. He's good. I support them both, though. They're good. All for the love. Good for them.
My favorite is the fan who's like, what? That's my favorite.
I mean, it was kind of funny. You were saying how...
Are those reactions real? I don't know. Well, there's certainly been a lot of reaction to this. After years of singing about love, Taylor Swift's own love story appears to be getting a happy ending. The singer and Travis Kelce have announced they're getting married.
Okay, let's bring in CP24's Phil Perkins for details and reaction to the nuptial news. Phil, I said this earlier after you mentioned it. You need to do a FaceTime interview. Get your mom to come in studio and talk to us about this ring.
Yeah, talk about these diamonds. Jamie Goodfriend corrected me that the internets are saying that this old mine brilliant cut is probably worth $500,000 US. But that's just one of the many layers of this engagement between basically NFL royalty and music, pop culture royalty. Travis Kelce proposing to Taylor Swift. Obviously, she said yes, and we're saying yes to all the headlines. To talk about this is Hannah Van Bibber from The Athletic. She merges these two worlds, pop culture, sports, and everything together. Your reaction when you heard, and I'm not saying this is inevitable because, Taylor Swift kind of made a career of making music about love and heartbreak, so we didn't know which way this thing was going.
We sure didn't, and it was quite a surprise because we know her album is coming out. We thought maybe we'd get a single dropped, but instead she announces her engagement. And the wildest thing is I screamed, I was hugging people. I was actually reporting a story down in the West Village on the street where she used to live when I got the notification from a sports app that she was getting engaged. So it's been a wild day for me.
And, you know, in the National Football League, I'm sure you know, it's roster cut day. People's careers are ending, and here they are completely overshadowing that, as they do. So I got to ask you, the NFL season is just a couple weeks away. What is this engagement? You know, are we going to hear about bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, everything, and over, is Bryce Young going to be starting week 2? You know, like what's going on? Like how much of the storyline of the NFL is this now going to take?
Well, I think we're getting used to Taylor Swift dominating NFL headlines. And I will tell you, my company, The Athletic, already has a couple headlines out about this. But you can bet every NFL broadcast, especially at Chiefs games, you're going to be hearing about this couple. If they aren't already secretly married, they'll probably do it in the off season, which will be after February and before June, July. But we don't know. She always surprises us, but expect to see a lot more of them and their stories this season.
And, you know, Travis does seem like a family guy. Obviously, New Heights is with his brother, and, you know, the three of them broke YouTube streaming records, podcast records. You know, he strikes me as a guy who might want to continue playing football so that eventually, maybe his kids down the line could watch him play. But, he's in his mid to late 30s now. Are we also going to be potentially on, retirement watch with Travis Kelce?
Well, they are saying this is probably his last year. Interestingly enough, it's his 13th year, which is a magic Taylor Swift number. So I think it may be he's getting up there. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. We expect that he may be getting some less of playing time on the offense this year as they try to train up and transition. But we're excited to watch whatever he's going to do this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I could imagine, there are people out there who still begrudgingly or maybe just outright say they don't like the involvement of Taylor Swift in the NFL. But this has to be a win for the league. The fact that, she's bringing a whole other group of people to watch this, and, it's positive news for the league.
Hugely positive. Everyone involved is making more money when Taylor Swift's involved, and people can watch with their daughters, with their wives, with their Swiftie friends. And we polled the NFL players themselves, and over 75% said she is a huge positive for the league. So the players themselves see how it's a benefit.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're on wedding watch, and I don't know what their plans are. I don't want to sound like, a grandpa or anything, but, when are the kids coming? We're going to get kids songs. We're going to get daycare songs and potty training songs. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Get ready.
All right. Hannah Van Bibber with The Athletic. Thanks so much. I do appreciate it. Just want to let you guys know a couple things. That ring, reportedly about $500,000. Also, the dress that Taylor Swift was wearing in that post is from Ralph Lauren. If you want to buy it, it's sold out already. I think they got engaged just a couple hours ago. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grandpa Phil. Appreciate it.
I'm already looking forward to being a grandpa. My kids are like 5 years old.
You have so many questions.
Months.
I love it. I love it. 522, 17 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Well, the CNE has just announced this year's inductees into its Food Hall of Fame. We're going to take a look at which fun foods made the class next.
Welcome back. The CNE has announced this year's inductees into its Food Hall of Fame.
Okay, CP24's Andrew Brennan joins us live from the X. Andrew, you've been there all day. You've had a chance to sample the inductees and, some off-menu items. So let's talk about the inductees. What do we have?
Well, what have we had today? I think we'll start there. Actually, we'll say very quickly the 5 inductees. We have a corn dog. More about those in a second. We have a bug hot dog, which if that's your thing, I'm not going to yuck your yum, but no. For me, no. We have rainbow grilled cheese. We have turkey, those giant turkey drumsticks, and we also happen to have what was the 5th one? Come on, brain, remember. It was the blooming colossal onion. And now that we've talked about the food, we need to get back into food mode. Tim, or Tom, thank you. Tom, the cameraman, making sure we are ready to go. Thank you. And for moments like this, we always prepare ahead. Emergency corn dog. We made sure to get these earlier. And this is my friend Vincent. He's going to help us go through some of these choices. Vincent, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You're in from Simcoe, yeah?
I am.
Norfolk County?
Norfolk County. Trade for the world.
So you were here years ago when they had the rainbow grilled cheese.
I was.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. It was an all right grilled cheese sandwich. Maybe just a tad bit too much cheese.
Did the colors to the cheese make it taste better?
No, not at all. It made it funner.
So how many times have you been to the X?
It's a tradition. I came since I was like 1, 2, so I'm 12 now.
Wow.
Years, yeah.
You've been doing this for a long time. So what's your favorite thing you've ever had here?
I really enjoy the jumbo corn dogs just outside there by the Ferris wheel. I like that new soft shell crab that they served last year, the deep fried one. That was my favorite.
So do you think that should be in the Hall of Fame sooner or later?
I think it should be there soon.
And Vincent, anything else that you think needs to be said about the food and or the experience at the CNE?
All in all, it's a great fair. It's Canada's best.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you, Mom, for being so cool. Thank you for being so cool. Thank you to Corn Dogs, and thank you mostly to Vincent. So, we told you all 5. You can get them here. I'm not sharing this one, though. Bakari, Lena, back to you. Thanks, man.
He never shares his food, that Andrew Brennan.
Never.
What is up
Never.
with that?
Never.
We need to investigate.
Yeah. Andrew, we're talking about you.
Enjoy, my
That's
friend.
a really easy mystery.
527, 18 degrees. Thanks, Andrew. You're watching Live at 5.
Still no sign of a missing jet skier who went in the water near Bluffers Park Sunday night. And it's raising concerns about the safety of jet rentals. An update today on a case that has gripped the city of Barrie. For almost a month, we're learning more about 2 grisly murders at a homeless encampment.
Toronto police resumed their search today for a missing jet ski rider who fell into the water near Bluffers Park in Scarborough on Sunday night. We're going to have the latest on this recovery operation.
And it's a love story, and Taylor just said yes. The pop icon gets engaged to NFL superstar Travis Kelce. We got a lot of reaction.
You're watching Live at 5. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lena Ladifat.
I'm Bakari Savage. An update from police today. This is on an investigation into a grisly double murder case in Barrie.
52-year-old Robert Ladissour, accused of killing 2 people and dismembering their bodies. He is facing a long list of charges, including first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and indignity to a body. He was charged following a lengthy investigation at a homeless encampment near downtown Barrie. Police saying today the killings were not random, but didn't reveal a possible motive. They also said they don't believe there are more victims.
And police believe that 41-year-old David Cheesequay was killed July 28th and dismembered between that day and August 2nd. He was originally from BC and was well known in skateboarding circles. 45-year-old William Robinson, who went by Blake, was reported missing earlier this year and was last seen January 18th. Now, the victims and the accused, they all lived in the encampment at the same time.
The past few weeks have been a difficult and challenging time for our community. I'd like to thank the public for their patience as we work through the necessary investigative steps. We know that there is a desire for more information and transparency, and we are doing our best to provide details, while still ensuring that the integrity of the investigation remains the foremost concern, so that the justice process can be carried out effectively.
These were not random murders. The accused and victims were known to one another and all lived in the encampment on Ann Street at some point in time. William Blake Robinson was last in contact with his family on January 18th. He was reported missing to police on February 10th. David Kyle Quay was reported missing the end of July. We also do not believe at this time that there are additional victims.
For a closer look at this investigation, we're now joined live by CP24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan. So, Steve, again, let's go back to this. This was a missing persons investigation turned into not only a homicide investigation, but a pretty wild one.
A double homicide investigation. And that happens often with investigations where they start at one level and they go to the highest of levels depending on the evidence that was found. So in this particular instance, it started off as a missing persons investigation in January, caused the police to do criminal code search warrants up in Huntsville and in the Barrie area. They found human remains and as a result now have charged this 52-year-old man with 2 counts of murder, 1 first degree and 1 second degree, and 2 counts of indignity to a dead body, suggesting that this man dismembered those remains in an attempt to hide them.
Steve, could there be more victims out there?
Now, the police have said there are no other victims. Having said that, given the nature of these offenses, given the fact that these 3 men lived together in an encampment, they were known to one another, I would think that the police are going to look into the missing persons occurrences around the province, particularly those who are homeless, who live on the streets, and especially those who have some sort of association to this accused, because the 2 deceased were associated to this accused. So just out of due diligence, out of thoroughness, the police will most likely go through their missing persons occurrences, perhaps in the province, to see how many people who are homeless have gone missing, haven't been heard from their families, and are associated to this accused.
Okay, Steve, you were a former homicide detective. How do you even go about telling loved ones, family members that, okay, this person that you're related to was dismembered? I mean, the only knowledge that I know of that is what we see on TV, in the movies.
Hardest part of policing, particularly as a homicide detective, for me it was anyway, is the death notification, notifying a family that you have found their loved one and that the loved one you believe had been murdered. As far as the details with regards to the dismembering of the remains, you limit that information, of course, but you can't hide that because it's going to come out. But it is the most difficult part of police work. That's the reality, the human part of the job, which is to tell a family face-to-face what has happened to their loved one.
And finally, Steve, we heard the chief in Barrie call this case one of the largest in that service's history, adding that the complexity of this investigation required detectives to be on the clock, around the clock, sifting for evidence. Can you talk about how challenging this investigation would have been?
Well, geographically, they've gone all the way up into Muskoka. They executed over 30 search warrants. You were dealing with transient people, so some people who you may have spoken with on one day, now you go back to find them days later for new information, and they are hard to find.
Right.
This case was solved through search warrants and through the work of the biologist at the Center of Forensic Sciences. Difficult investigation, very good work by Barrie Police to get to this conclusion, but I would expect that they're going to look at all their missing persons reports now to make sure that there are no other victims out there who were murdered by this person.
Okay, CP24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, right now it's 5:35. Let's get a check on the evening commute with CP24's traffic specialist, Adjoa Insiaya-Bois.
Yeah, it has been quite the busy afternoon, and we've had rain off and on Bakari. And watching problems where there is no rain, but there are problems. So this is the eastbound lanes of the 401. This is in the transfers, just past Mississauga Road. Right lane, shoulder block because of this collision. The good news, this one not really slowing down the drive. Now, well, speaking of rain, and rain was coming down on the 401, which is impacting the drive westbound, starting from approaching Victoria Park all the way out to about Bayview. This is why there's a bit of a gap. We had some problems long-standing in the express, which finally cleared. Also soggy and slow on the northbound 427. Rain coming down quite heavily off the Gardner all the way up to the 401 is your slowest spot. And rain-free on the Gardner, but pretty busy as you make your way out of and head in to the downtown core. On city streets, brand new collision blocking lanes in Scarborough and Midland just south of Ellesmere. I'll send it back to you both.
All right, Adjoa, thanks so much. Well, York police have laid a manslaughter charge nearly a year after a fatal overdose in Vaughan.
Yeah, officers responded to reports of a male without vital signs. This is at a home near Bathurst and Ner Israel Drive, September 15th of last year. The death was eventually deemed to be an accidental overdose. 29-year-old Farzam Jafari Ratsari was arrested August 21st and is facing numerous charges, including manslaughter and trafficking. And police say that he was on probation for unrelated offenses at the time of his arrest.
Also making news, Toronto police are continuing to appeal for information. This is they try to find a senior who's been missing for almost 3 days now.
Yeah, 75-year-old Edward was last seen Saturday afternoon in the area of Pharmacy and Eglinton Avenues. He was wearing a blue baseball hat It had the letters SDL in yellow writing on it, as well as a gray golf shirt, black shorts, and black running shoes. And police say that they are concerned for safety, so they're asking anyone who may have seen him, just give them a call.
5:37, 15 degrees. You're watching Live at 5.
Okay, coming up, the latest on the recovery effort for a missing jet skier near Bluffers Park and the concerns that it's raising about the safety of jet ski rentals. Well, police say that the search for a missing jet skier near Bluffers Park has turned into a recovery effort.
Yeah, let's go live now to CP24's Arda Zakarian, who's by the water with the very latest, and the rain making this operation even more challenging, Arda.
That's right. The rain making the water more murky, and Toronto Police Marine Unit say that they are done their search for the day. The rain, of course, doesn't make things any easier, but prior to this, they were taking side scans of the water, which means there's high-resolution photos of the lake bed to see exactly what they are looking for and to see if there's any areas that they want to search even more closely. So they put 3 divers in the water, and they were searching the area in quadrants, looking for any sort of evidence, anything that could lead them to where this person is. Now, this is a recovery situation now, and Canadian Coast Guard, as well as the Toronto Police Marine Unit, they're working hand in hand in this situation. Yesterday, there was a search and rescue helicopter that was flying very close to the surface of the water, checking out every nook and cranny of that portion of the beach where they think this may have happened. Now, this is the east part of Bluffers Beach Park, where they think that this incident occurred Sunday night at 9:15 in the water. A man and a woman were on a jet ski. They were jet skiing together, the woman wearing a life jacket, the man was not. Toronto police tell us that the man gave the woman his life jacket, and then there was a big wave, according to Toronto police, that knocked them off their jet ski, and the woman was in the water calling for help. Another person on a nearby jet ski was able to help the woman and put her back on the jet ski. However, the man did not resurface. This is a man in his 20s. Now, police are asking for any witnesses, anyone who may have seen something, any kind of video, to help assist them in their search for the recovery of this person. They're also going to investigate the jet ski rental company that these people rented their jet ski from and look at the agreement that was signed prior to going on the jet ski. And there are many questions. Why was there only one life jacket, for example? And there are calls from the jet ski rental companies to have more regulation. Here's more from one company.
Because of the lack of regulation and the lack of municipal permitting, there's really nothing stopping you from going out, getting a couple jet skis, calling yourself a rental company, and start renting to the public. You don't need any training. You don't need any licensing, insurance. Most of these operators who are operating unsafely have no insurance, have no rescue capabilities. And they're sending people out without any proper training, without any oversight. And that's kind of where all the safety issues are starting from.
One more very important part of this entire situation, both members on that jet ski could not swim. Now, the family was here yesterday. They were on the beach from early in the morning, just hoping and praying for anything that Toronto Police Marine Unit could bring to them. Of course, they ended up with nothing yesterday, nothing today. Toronto Police Marine Unit do tell us that they're not sure if they're going to resume their search tomorrow. We'll find out soon. Back to you.
Okay, Arda Zakarian live by the water tonight. Arda, thanks so much for this. And for a closer look at the concerns that this incident has raised about jet ski rentals, we turn to Brad Bradford, Toronto City Councillor for Ward 19, Beaches East Shore. Councillor Bradford, good to see you, and thanks so much for joining us. You say that your office has received several complaints about this issue. What have you been hearing?
Well, I've been hearing from dozens of individuals over the past 24 hours, but I would say broadly thousands of constituents from across Toronto over the duration of the summer. This is precisely the nightmare that everybody was worried about when these illegal jet ski rental companies went wild this year. For a lot of the renters, it's their first time operating a jet ski or a boat of any kind. They're high-powered, dangerous vehicles if you don't have the training that should be required. And unfortunately, this is not the first incident Just a few weeks ago, we had 2 jet skis collide off the water in Etobicoke. Both of the operators had to go to hospital. So there is a real issue with these illegal jet ski rental companies, and action needs to be taken to protect both the folks who are renting the jet skis and more broadly, all users of the water.
So what can or should be done?
Well, I think the first problem is these renters don't require a license. There's basically a loophole that exists in the federal regulation where you can sign a waiver on the spot. It's like a digital form where you just sort of say, accept all, and you're good to go. Everybody else who's on navigable waters has a boating license. That is a requirement for a pleasure craft water operator's license. And this loophole with jet skis and these illegal rental companies doesn't require that. So you have folks out there that may not know the rules of the waterway. They don't understand who needs to yield with respect to the buoy systems and the different type of watercraft. And they certainly don't know how to operate a jet ski. A lot of people are surprised to learn that a jet ski is not like driving a car where you turn the wheel. You actually have to be on the throttle when you're steering to make it go in the direction that you want. Then you hear about situations like, maybe this one where not everyone who was on the jet ski had a life jacket. That is basic boating 101. It is a requirement for anyone operating a watercraft. There has to be enough life jackets for each of the occupants. And you find yourself in situations like this where a tragedy unfolds. So we need to fix that issue with licensing. I don't think that there should be a loophole for anyone that's operating a jet ski, whether they are an owner or a rental. Anyone that's out there on the waterfront needs to be trained and licensed and insured. And then from the city side, we need to make sure that we have stronger deterrents for these illegal operators, because you have them rolling into public parks, onto public beaches and launching. And the Marine unit has been out and they have been impounding these Sea-Doos overnight, but these cowboy operators don't seem to care. They go in and pay the fine the next day and they're right back out there because they're making too much money. So we need stronger penalties, stronger fines, and stronger deterrents to keep the illegal operators off our waterfront and out of our parks.
Really, really quickly, we've run out of time, but I do have to ask you, I know police have called on the federal government to address the lack of regulation. Is there anything, Councillor, the city can do here?
Well, again, just to clarify the commentator that you had previously, the city doesn't permit any of this on our public beaches or our public parks. They are illegal operators. And so there is not a license regime that the city is prepared to stand up for these illegal operators. That's not the type of commercial activity we want to see on our public beaches and our parks. What we are doing is trying to create no-go zones for jet skis that separate and demarcate the area for swimmers, kayakers, stand-up paddleboards, and anyone operating a power watercraft, because those things don't mix well and somebody's going to be injured or killed.
Okay. Brad Bradford, Toronto City Councillor for Ward 19, Beaches, East York. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Councillor. It's now 5:47, 15 degrees. You're watching Live at 5.
Some community groups are coming together to give students a helping hand ahead of the start of school. We're going to have those details next. Community groups came together in North York today to make sure that students start the new school year off on the right foot.
And the Children's Breakfast Clubs and its partners handed out 2,000 backpacks at York Gate Mall. They were stuffed with books and other classroom supplies. Toronto police, paramedics, and fire services personnel were also there to lend a hand and offer students advice on how to stay safe when they return to the classroom. The giveaway is part of an initiative that aims to help families manage the rising costs of back-to-school supplies.
For the first time in 40 years, we have a waiting list of schools asking our support. And this is what's happening. We're saying it's not just feeding them, but giving them all the resources they need to make it possible for them to be successful and take some of that burden away from the parents, right? As a parent, it makes it so difficult for you to think that your child is not getting anything, but we are here to help you.
We have several communities within our division and within my neighborhood that have some more youth that could use these supports, and so we make sure that these backpacks get directly to them so that they have what they need.
It is helpful. I think that the community has a lot of resources in place for parents, single parents, even if you have a big family, so it's really good. I feel like I'm thrilled to be a part of the community.
Kind of feels like you're kind of happy, like you got these new backpack markers, and you got to show it to your friends at like school.
Well, the Children's Breakfast Club says that it's going to continue to support families throughout September, as well as make sure as many kids as possible are equipped for a successful school year.
You're watching Toronto's breaking news, CP24. This is Live at 5.
A celebrity engagement, singer Taylor Swift and NFL star Travis Kelce announced they're getting married. We're going to have more on this next. Well, after years of singing about love, Taylor Swift's own love story appears to be getting a happy ending.
Yeah, the singer and Travis Kelce announcing they are getting married, and that has a lot of people talking online. Let's bring in CP24's Phil Perkins for all the details and reaction. Phil, your mom is talking about the ring. Tell us more.
Yeah, she said, okay, firstly, the rock itself. So my mom's been selling diamonds for a long time. And she says that specific rock is a vintage rock. She called it junk, but then she sent me a screenshot saying it's that ring itself, roughly $500,000 US. So she's allowed to be wrong. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, so she's not the only one. Everyone's. I was at a farmer's market. My wife found out that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married. She literally almost dropped our 6-month-old child. And started scrolling on Instagram, just trying to see the ring, zooming in on it, making sure everyone looked good. By the way, the dress Taylor Swift is wearing is from Ralph Lauren. You can't buy it. It is completely sold out. I don't know who posted first, but I went on Travis Kelce's Instagram page, geriatric millennial here. He said, your English teacher and gym teacher are getting married. So I guess they do have that vibe. And they've been really the vibes of the NFL since they made their dating public in September 2023. She ended up going to all the Chief home games. She was there when Travis got his additional Kansas City Chiefs ring. He is a surefire Hall of Famer, arguably the best tight end in NFL history. And now it's her turn to get the rock. And so we're going to be talking about this now. It's the offseason in the NFL. We're going to be talking about it in the regular season and the postseason if and when the Chiefs make it. We also heard from Chum 104.5's Josie Dye and Jamar McNeil. This is what they had to say about it.
As of right now, we know that that ring is absolutely beautiful. It looks very vintage. It looks really cool, and it looks very big.
We also know that Taylor Swift just recently broke a massive record with her appearance on the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason. 1.3 million consecutive views. This sounds to me like a PR rollout. Mm-hmm. She announced the album. Okay, they announced the album. They had a record-breaking podcast episode. Just Sunday, her father was interviewed by People magazine, and he said that the two are very, very much in love.
And, you know, we've been talking about it in the newsroom. This kind of feels royal wedding-esque, guys. And, you know, newsrooms love going to these things. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody from local to networks went to find out where this wedding is being held, and you know, tents upon tents upon tents of people doing live hits all day, every day, leading up to this wedding. That's what it actually feels like.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Like, it's going to be a media frenzy. Can you imagine?
I could very much imagine, but I could also at the same time see them doing it very privately. I'm already seeing on Twitter sphere that, you know, maybe they already got married, got that out of the way. So you never know.
So I think Taylor Swift is from like a suburb outside of Nashville. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's going to be held in Nashville. You know, like her hometown.
I can see that. We're thinking maybe the Hamptons. We're taking bets on maybe the Hamptons. Or, hey, they might, you know, just throw a dart at a globe and go wherever. I can see them in Portugal. Portugal's so hot right now. I can see them getting married in the Amalfi Coast.
Yeah, wherever they get married, it's going to be very private. That's for sure, right?
Yeah, but it'd have to be during the off season because now the NFL season's ticking. It's happening in like a week and a half. So
are you volunteering?
Is he pitching something? Oh, what is this?
Are you volunteering to cover the wedding, by the way, Phil?
Oh yeah.
Our
news director just sent me the vinyl. Maybe this could be the wedding invite. It could look like that big.
Ooh.
Okay. But
you should be their manager, Phil. I love all these ideas.
You could send that to every newsroom in North America.
Phil Perkins reporting. Thanks, Phil. You're watching Toronto's breaking news, CP24.
Oh, thank you for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.
Have a great night, everybody.